Hey everyone, just jumping on quickly to make a quick video on something that I think a lot of people are curious about when they're assessing the difference between WGU and South College. So what I'm showing you is a visual summation or comparison, or visual aid, I guess you could say, of the South College program in comparison to the two masters that I did at WGU, which was a Master's of Education and a Master's of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Both are from the education faculty there. So if you've watched my videos, you know that I did say many times that there's a lot more work involved at South College. In no way does that mean that I don't think there should be more work. It just means there is more work, in my opinion. That includes more academic writing. There are some assignments that aren't writing based, so you have to create an infographic or a visual presentation or some sort of visual summary. Some assignments are like mind maps, and there are cool tools online that you can find to create maps digitally, but primarily they are academic writing focused. There are formative assessments which are almost like the foundation towards a more final deliverable, which is called a summative assessment. So what you're looking at here is just something that I created. So there are 10 courses. You can see here there are 10 courses, 1 to 10 in the program. What you'll see here is that A1, A2, those stand for assignment, and that is either a formative assessment or summative assessment. It's hard to say if formatives are more work than summatives. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Sometimes these assignments are very much based on your direct experience, so it's kind of easy to write about in the sense that you probably know yourself well. But other times there are case studies where you have to analyze an existing story and maybe compare that to your experience. Sometimes you have to do an exercise and then report on that experience. So there's so many ways that an assessment happens. So this is all just based on quantity. So in that first course, you will see that there are 27 assignments, which is the most out of all the courses. Now, at the bottom here, I know it's kind of small, where I have noted exactly the amount of assessments per course. Now, the way I've set this up is anything in green is an assignment that I've done. You will see at this point I have completed 2 courses. The second course has 20 assignments. Now, does that mean that a course that has more assignments takes more time? I don't necessarily think so. Both the first and second course took about the same amount of time. I did them alongside one another. There were days where the second course took me more time because there was a position paper which took more time. In here where it says R, you'll see a little R. That just means that's the one assignment I needed to do a revision on. There were other assignments that I got feedback on that said, please keep this in mind for the future. Like, you don't have to resubmit it, but you needed to fix something with the APA or add a certain other element. But they didn't ask me to resubmit it, though I did have to resubmit that 13th assignment in the second course, which is an annotated bibliography. I did really good summaries of each of the articles that I found. However, I needed to put more of a critical lens on how useful those articles were for my paper, as well as their relevance. So I needed to resubmit that, which was fine. As you can see, after that, the third course that I'm in, and there's 2 courses that are, there are 2 assignments that are in blue, and those assignments are submitted. I'm just waiting for my instructor to review them and provide me with feedback. Generally, she marks every single day, this instructor. I've had this instructor for the first course and now the third course, and she's very quick and very positive with her feedback, so it's been quite nice to interact with her. The yellow just means that I'm working on that assignment. It's on my to-do list, and I've already started looking at the instructions and mapping out what I'm going to write about. One thing to note is that even though there are a bunch of other courses here, these last 2 courses, it's been noted by the program director and my mentor and other students that these take a lot more time. So this is a methodology course, or a course that helps you frame a topic and think about the start of your research project, or the course 9, and the 10th is a dissertation which includes 5 chapters, and if you add up all those chapters, generally they say it's about 100 to 150 pages, so it will be more work for sure. And so I've already started to conceptualize what my dissertation will be. There does need to be pre-existing data set, and I believe that's probably the hardest part with this program, is finding a data set that you can utilize and that will be useful enough to frame a whole project around it. So you can pause this, you can look at it just to kind of see how many courses there are. I'm going to compare that to the second master's I did at WGU, which was a Master's of Education. This model shows that there are a few more courses. You can see that there are, if you look here to here, there are 12 courses, and those 12 courses included a capstone, which was kind of like a mini research project. Yeah, so there was a lot of work there. Now, I think that the assignments are similar. Like when I look at one assignment from here, in many cases, it is similar to the amount of work in one assignment here as well. So I think that in general, there are just more assignments in this doctoral program because each course is 9 credits and it's a more advanced degree. So this is the Master's of Education. The T stands for transfer credit because I did a previous master's to this, which was in curriculum and instruction, and there are a few more assignments in this program that I did. So you can pause it, you can look at this as well just to compare. The one other thing I can share, which I know this is blurry, just because I can't show you all of my assignments and the names and all that, but this is just a snapshot of the deliverables from one of my courses at South College. So I had generally a separate folder for the formative assessments and a folder for my summative assessments. So this is for the summative assessments, so there was a bunch of them. And what I did was, in the first course, I did an average of how many pages I wrote for those assignments. And in that first course, it was about 8 pages of double-spaced writing. However, 2 of those pages are not content that took a lot of effort because I had to just include a title page, and then usually there was almost always a reference page that I had. So that included citations that were used, like scholarly sources, to back up some of my work. You could argue that on average there were about 6 pages of writing for most of those courses. Now there was a huge range because sometimes there was only a couple pages, other assignments there was up to like 12 pages. In the second course, there was more pages that I wrote as an average. So as an average, I wrote about 10 pages. However, again, same thing, 2 of those pages were not substantial. One was a title page, one was references. So you could argue that it's about 8 pages double-spaced on average in that second course. Now, I am someone that is detailed. I like to write context for every assignment. I don't like to just launch into answering a question. I like to provide a little bit of an overview of my topic, and even if I've already discussed it in a past assignment, I do a recap of it in a short paragraph. So yeah, this is just a tool that I created because I'm a very visual person, but you're more than welcome to create something similar. And I've heard that the 4th course, there's a lot of writing involved. It's kind of notorious for that. However, there are some students that said they learned a lot and they really improved their writing skills in that course. All right, hopefully that was interesting, helpful for those who have been asking about assignments and how many. Let me know if you have any questions about that, and I will see you in another video.